What up, y'all? We are back with another episode, number 11. EFS podcast is still a podcast for self-starters and those willing to make the most out of any situation. As always, I am your host, D. Burke. We out here again with the man, Waldo Black. No Rem today. No Rem today. She's with us in spirit, you know. But we out here for another one. We back. We live. Couple air horns. Air horns air horns always appropriate. A little round of applause for the gang. It's number one podcast in the world. EFS podcast number 11. We out here. So we gotta check in with the team. Smaller team today, but how's it going, my man? How you feeling today?
I'm feeling amazing, man.
Fade us out real quick.
I'm feeling amazing, man. You know what I'm saying? I listen. I don't know if you got. I wanted to play my music on the jug because I shut it down last night, bro.
Oh, you did?
Last night, if y'all don't know, I had a show. It was at the University of Delaware. You know what I'm saying? 4,000 people screaming, chanting, going crazy.
My boy on big energy today.
Yeah, man. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. I had an hour-long DJ set at one point, and then I came back and did my music set for about 25 minutes. Nice little show. You know what I'm saying? Did a few songs, danced on stage, got into the crowd. I even had them swag surfing at one point. It was crazy.
You swag surf?
Yeah, we swag surfed. The whole crowd was rocking.
So you try to one up me on the swag surf?
All I'm saying, it was crazy, and everybody wanted to get down, bro. It was like one of them. It was like, yeah, this is what I'm supposed to do. It's a confirmation. I'm like, yeah, this is it right here, man. Speaking of that, I literally wanted to make sure I could come onto the show today and bless you. So I got something for you. This is the official Waldo Black merch.
Oh man, my man brought gifts.
The official Waldo Black merch. You were the first to get this. You are the first to get this, you know what I'm saying?
We are Dreamers United, right?
We are Dreamers United, man, because we all have dreams. That's the whole point of this thing, man. And it was a dream for me to be on stage, to do my music, and you know what I'm saying, bringing my dream to reality is a beautiful thing. But in saying that, we are Dreamers United. It really is about how you can always rely on the person next to you, because guess what? They got a dream too. And if we both got dreams, guess what? We're never truly alone.
Word.
So we are in this together, man, and we all chase our dreams together. So I think I appreciate it, man.
Dreamers United.
Yeah, and my logo's in there on the tag too. It says Waldo Black.
Tag.
Yeah, Waldo Black.
I can't see this on listeners, and probably can't see it on cam, but this is the official.
Come on now.
The official merch.
Yeah, man, the official merch. This is
Dreamers United. This is fire though.
Thank you, bro.
Rock this.
Thank you, bro.
Should be big enough. Right size. Sizing is always a thing.
Listen, I wasn't going to he's tall. Let me make sure I get something right for him.
Nah, this is fire though. I appreciate this, bro. That's love.
Yeah, man. That's what it's all about, man.
100%. Yeah. Nah, definitely. It's fire. Fresh off the show too. I like that.
My
boy here with big energy, good energy.
Bro,
today.
it was amazing, bro. It
Nice.
was amazing. And the best part of the show, like beyond like going on stage and doing what I love, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? It's dope. But when I got off stage, and their moms and the parents came up to me and said thank you, and just was like, I'm talking about holding back tears. Like, you just you light up my child's day. You made him feel special, and you know what I'm saying. And there was a moment we did this thing called the Rave Hour, and I actually got to dance with some of the kids that are fighting pediatric cancer at the show, and they were like, man, they said, can you sign my we had these little light things we could flash. Can you sign my? I'm like, yeah, got you. Signing it with the Sharpie, and just seeing them, taking pictures with them, like that just warmed my heart to a whole nother level, bro. I'm like, this is what I do it for. Yeah, I want to be, you know what I mean, successful and all that, but man, my idea of success has changed so much to where it's not even about getting the most money and I got the flashy this, flashy that. It's like, am I connecting? Am I making an impact, bro? I know last night I did a huge thing right there, man.
Nice.
Yeah, man.
I mean, explain what it is for the people that don't really know, because I know, but we can't assume the listeners
for those
out
of
there.
You in the EFS family don't know, I work with the Andrew McDonough Be Positive Foundation, which is one of the largest organizations, foundations, nonprofits that help provide funds to families affected by pediatric cancer. So that means a child has got cancer. Guess what? There's also difficulties because now you got to pay for medical bills, and the money for medical bills is taking away money for mortgage and car payments and things like that. So they literally take all the money they get and put it directly into the families that are affected. And I mean, I've heard the stories where families wouldn't have known where their next mortgage payment would have came from, and then the Be Positive Foundation stepped in and helped out. So that resonated and really connected with me. My mom passed away from myeloma, which is bloodborne cancer, and it's kind of like me being able to do something and give back is really just, it's like, I mean, almost like my ministry. You know what I'm saying? It's like where I can really share and be the best version of myself, in my opinion. But I connected with them like 8 years ago, so ever since then, I'm the single most performing artist through that organization. There's no other artist that has done more shows through that organization. I've also worked with I work with Children's Miracle Network. I've worked with Special Olympics. I've worked with Thon up in Penn State, which is the largest philanthropic group in the world. They do the biggest dance marathon. There's 72 hours. I performed there 3 times. Like, I just go around different colleges and just snap and do what I do best, and bring energy to the stage. But last night was one of them ones, man. You had to be there for it.
Nice, man. One time for that. Throw a couple air horns on that. Shouts to the Be Positive Foundation.
Yes, yes.
Making big impact and big changes, and and for a great cause. So glad the show went well.
Yeah, man. It was awesome, man. It was awesome.
Definitely.
I'm tired. I ain't gonna lie to you. I was like, man, I'm not 25 no more, bro.
And
I ain't no youngin' out here no more, bro. I'm about to be old over here.
The night before didn't help much either.
Right? We was up in New York.
Yeah, nah, we gonna say that. That's, had me burnt out Sunday morning. Had to get up at the ass crack of dawn.
Yep.
Off of that little trip, but yeah, nah, it's fire.
But yeah, man,
fire. Shouts to that.
Thank you. Appreciate it, man.
So I guess we're gonna keep it
music. We could keep music. I mean, I can shamelessly plug.
I know
EP is still out. Go download. Spotify, all streaming platforms, everything you can go. Heartstrings EP out now.
Facts. Definitely do that. And while you're doing that, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the EFS podcast on Spotify, Apple. Now. Biggest platforms out there. We appreciate all the love and the genuine reactions we've still been getting on a week-by-week basis. So, don't forget, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff.
Fastest growing podcast.
I know my my little spiel the other week, about the not needing support from whatever, or not expecting or being, entitled to support from your peoples.
That was a good post.
It rang off about there. Nah, for sure. And I still feel that way. But, we definitely still appreciate the love, respect, and just again, the organic connection as we grow this thing. So, as always, like, comment, subscribe, hit all the bells, the buttons, all that other good shit,
Yes, sir.
But, yeah, man. So we keep it music for
Let's
now.
Go music.
Just off the last episode, we're going to update things to the current state of the
we're giving the weekly update on the beasts.
I mean,
I didn't even bring this up to you too, because I know you probably saw it, but there's 2 things I know that I was wanting to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
One was the tailor-made freestyle.
I mean, we could talk that.
That's one.
That did drop most recently, and you just give the updated status on
what's your overall opinion?
The general
reactions. Overall opinion on the tailor-made freestyle. Because this is really, because my opinion in the last podcast hasn't changed about the whole disses and beef. But I want to know, because you are in it still. You're in this. This is where I would look at you in terms of someone who still has an affinity for the old classic rules of hip hop, or rap, I should say more appropriately. The rap rules, or the rap code, so to speak. Did the tailor-made freestyle follow the code of rap music?
I mean, nah. If we just keeping it funky, I understand what's going on here, and I see all the internet just comments, posts. It's been a lot, and that's a lot of the shit that you can't really relate to the old guard, or whatever you want to call it, just because this whole information era and everything just grows more and more and more. and we see everything in front of our face all the time. So I do understand right now where we at, and I think it is just it's a tactic. Like this internet shit is just becoming more and more of a tactic in this whole back and forth beef thing. And I'm still here for the music, but it's just all the shit in between the music is not, it starts to become a little bit overwhelming if we just gonna feed into the matrix and all that shit of it. And a lot of it is just like it's just content now. It's just content and content and content, and we in it. So shit, I ain't going act like we not a quote unquote part of whatever level of the problem it is. But not even to say it is or isn't a problem, just because it's just where we at currently. But just over the past week or so, especially since our last drop, just seeing everything post-wise and just the back and forth and just level of opinions about everything, it just becomes to be a lot about the while we wait type situation,
Right.
Like the thing that happened back in the past, and we can keep it here and cut it short because I don't want to spend too much time on this shit, just because it can drag out. And a lot of the shit that, relating back to my roots or whatever, the thing that we didn't have before was we could just wait on music. Like if shit was just highly anticipated, like it wasn't just a part of just the cycle of this is what we're doing on a day-to-day basis. What's the next thing? Who's recording when and who's recording this? Like and even the whole Kendrick shit that's going on where everybody says he has this amount of time to reply, and coming from someone who maybe is somewhat hypocritical, I did put Drake on the clock.
Yeah, you did.
I did. Yeah, I did believe that deserved a swifter response, and and he gave whatever response now, but now it's like he's trying to force the back and forth that much more because he felt the pressure from everybody early to respond, and Kendrick don't really work like that. If we just being honest,
at least
he never has. And I'm seeing the back and forth between Kendrick's camp and then putting out there that we don't do the microwave shit, and we like that slow cooked food.
Yeah.
Nah, for real. And I agree. Like Drake make a lot of microwave music, so it is suitable for him to be able to turn something around real quick and then put out a response. Now he put out another response. The whole tailor-made thing is cool, like gimmick wise, but it's literally a gimmick. You're using AI to create a diss record now, so now it's like updating things to the current state in the beef, and you trying to make it a creative way to like poke fun. And then I seen Rob Markman saying how like he's basically trying to cut off all the things Kendrick can say back to him with that record.
He 8-miled it. Yeah, he definitely 8-miled it.
And that shit to me, it's like, all right, it's cool, like gimmick wise, but again, it's like I could have done without it. I'm just being honest.
Yes,
I could have done without it.
I can agree with.
And then the feelings it gave from people. I got a good laugh out of that shit when they brought Jada into it. When he was saying that when she heard the Pac verse, she just started jumping up and like, oh shit, Pac is back. Like, that was funny. I didn't
see that. Is that on
it's all I seen a few of them. Few memes on the timeline about that shit.
Goodness.
Like just how she reacted just off of the whole, the Jada and Pac, like we know. So that was funny. But outside of that, like I could have done without that shit, And I know Drake is trying to play into the whole battle and all that shit, but to me now, like that's where again it should get a little corny to me. I said this before, and I ain't saying on record on here, but how I feel. Like we talked off. I'm like, bro, get the fuck off the phone. Like you put your shit out, cool. Wait,
sit down.
You trying to bait it, because you anxious. From my perspective, you anxious and you want.
I think I saw somewhere though that his track did hit #1.
Yeah, for sure. That week.
Yeah.
That week.
Yeah.
You got to preface it by saying, or not even preface, you got to update it by saying that week.
Yeah, that
it
week.
Did not outdo like that. It did
no,
not like that
We're not
week.
saying that.
And
We're
of
just
course.
saying that because everybody wanted to hear it in that moment.
Ross's numbers for his shit did stupid for his streams and all that shit for the Champagne record. Like, it's just everyone's running to it now, And I'm here for the music, but it's like all the in between shit. It's like, it's like draining.
I don't know if because when I think about the music and I think about beef, because at the same time when I was laughing when I heard Drake getting called BBL Drizzy by Rick Ross,
no doubt,
and all the antics that Rick Ross was doing, which wasn't the essence of music that was involved in it. It was more the beef. It was like seeing these two individuals go back and forth. But I think at some point, right, you've spoken about healthy toxic right?
Mhm.
Are we reaching a level of toxicity with all the banter and bickering that was like, it's just turning us, it's spoiling the meat, right? It's spoiling the beef in this scenario, because at this point, like I'm just gonna be so like overwhelmed in the sense of the word, like you evoked earlier, by everyone having something to say, because it's not in a vacuum no more. Before you had to go to the barbershop, or you have to sit down with your fellas on the stoop to listen to the track and talk about it with each other.
No doubt.
Now with the internet, everyone's talking about it all day, every day, and it gets to a point where it's like it's just too much.
No doubt. And
It's spoiling it.
I get that. And again, just off the toxicity thing, I don't think where we at right now in the quote unquote beef is like toxic. I think the toxic thing is just the overwhelming consumption of one thing. Like,
Yeah,
I'm a
that's what I'm saying.
person
Like,
that's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
that to me is when it's like, I check out. Like, I'm a person that if everybody doing the same shit, dressing the same, talking the same, being the same, like that shit starts to become overload for me. Just
a mariachi band dissed to Metro Boomin. He did a drum line in front of Magic City.
No, I mean, to be honest, like, not to cut you off, because I see where you're going. Like, I'm down for that kind of shit.
I'm not. Yo,
like, I'm
it's
down
too
for that
much.
kind of shit when it's like petty, like war tactics, because it's just like I got enough money and like let me see how funny I could be with it.
I guess,
Cool,
bro, but it's
I
not.
think it's overload just the amount of information we're receiving on the topic. Like, if you want to do some petty shit to get over on your competition, like, cool. You know, again, just relating it to athletics. Like,
it doesn't do anything.
No,
like,
facts.
again,
and I respect that.
I want to hear some songs.
I respect that. You know,
I want to see no mariachi bands, even though it was funny. I can't lie, it was funny.
No doubt. And he's doing is overload a lot of it, but he's doing like tactics that I like from 50. Like when he was beefing with, he was very big into like, you know, just
I do remember that,
taking his little shots outside
of just
weird
the records. Too, though, with him. I remember
it
got weird when he was took Rick Ross' baby moms or something like that. It was
no doubt.
It just was weirdness. I'm like, now we're getting to
doubt.
a place where I don't like it. Or what he pulled up to DJ Khaled's mom and had her in the shop sleeping it. It's just weird. It's just like, yo, what are you doing? Like,
no
why
doubt. I'm not saying there's certain parts of that certain parts of what 50 did that couldn't be considered like a little overload. But I'm down for a little petty shot here and there.
Nah,
you know, it's
man,
just to me, it's just
it's just weird, man.
all of it right now is just a overwhelming amount of like what's gonna happen and the suspense. It's like, just let the record drop. It's gonna drop when it drops. And I want to hear it too. I'm here for the competitive level of it, but it's just like all this timeline and it's an overwhelming reaction of Kendrick got to respond. Kanye put his shit out. I don't even know if you heard that.
Which is another thing, which is like,
and again, it goes to my theory. I said it before, so I ain't gonna dive too much into it. But Drake gonna have a hard time moving around without, you know, having to have somebody trying to check him for some shit. You know, so I get it. I get where all of it's at. You know, they're trying to take down Thanos and all that. I get all that shit. You know, to me, I'm just like, I'm checking out on it until I hear more music. You know. The music for me is like where it's like, all right, cool. I can really like dive into and respond to that. You know, everything else in between is just like, it's funny. It's internet back and forth banter. It's comments, and all that shit. But for me, at a certain point, is that shit just stops being interesting until I actually have something to tangibly say like, yo, this is what I can say. I like this about this song or that song. Like, you know, the tailor-made shit. I don't consider that shit the actual. I think it's just like poking the bear. And to me, it's like, you know, it's cool. I get it, but I'm checking out for now.
Where do you land with this? So in your pecking order, where do you have Drake, Kendrick? I'm not even gonna talk about Cole. I know he's your third, if not disqualified from your list or whatever. But where do you have Kendrick, Drake in the 1, 2, 3 conversation?
I mean, it remains to be seen. I do believe Kendrick got to respond. Like,
I mean, even if you look at before versus before to the beef.
Oh, as far as like artists,
yeah, like
Kendrick is still over him.
Kendrick is over him.
Yeah, I consider Drake a great artist in general. Like, you know, I'm not, you know, knocking anything that he's been able to do or achieve. I do think, again, I've said it on here before. I've said like I think Drake pisses a lot of people off, and now it's coming back to where people are responding to that. So I get that. But for me, I always favored Kendrick Lamar's music over Drake. You know, just my taste in music personally, about what I consider like high level or high value, high quality music, I'm always gonna go with Kendrick over Drake, because Kendrick makes records that are introspective way more than Drake does. Kendrick makes records that are culturally impactful more than
I agree with that.
Drake does. And not to say I take that back, because Drake's had large cultural impact. I would say more like to the core of like our culture as far as Black people and all that shit. Like Kendrick's done more music like that. And I'm not knocking that point that you had, you know, and I didn't say anything. My point was Drake speaks to the body, you know, which was the funny thing about it, is because, you know, it's more surface level with Drake, you know. I prefer a deeper, like more, again, leveled layers of music. Like, you know, and Drake's
so is there, my real question is there a level, is there something that he can do in this beef that can even get him out of that place?
Who, Drake?
To get him out of the second, no, I'm talking about Drake. Because basically with that setup, then there's nothing this beef will do that'll allow you to take him to the next level of GOATness, because at the end of the day, you've already laid it out that music-wise, catalog-wise, your choice is Kendrick.
Yeah.
So even if he was to make this amazing diss track to Kendrick, it won't even yield an outcome where he's better than Kendrick, because his catalog won't even speak for it.
It depends, because again, I can still look at, and this is why with Cole bowing out shit, I'm not taking away anything from Cole like as a great artist, you know. Like I still have listened to Cole's music after we kicked his back in, and just like, you know, all right, let me remember when, you know, I had a different perspective of him. And I can't take none of that away from him.
Right.
You know, but again, when it comes to competitiveness and staking your claim, from there it's like, all right, I can consider you a great artist, but you can't be the best in this era right now. And it's the same thing with Nas versus Jay. Like Nas, I still listen to Nas a lot more. I would say in my life, between Jay and Nas, I might have listened to 65% of Nas, and maybe, you know, like math-wise. This wasn't aiming fair. I probably listened to a little bit more than Nas and Jay, just because I prefer Nas's style of rapping. I prefer Nas's content and certain levels of things a little bit more than I do with Jay. But do I mean I'm not going to consider Jay the GOAT? No, because Jay-Z's impact, as well as great music, because I'm not taking away anything from Jay musically, he's done a lot of things to put himself in that position to be like, yo, bro, you did that shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, for me, Jay's still a GOAT, but I might prefer Nas a little bit more.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean,
so updating it to the Kendrick and Drake thing, like Drake can be the quote unquote GOAT in certain people's eyes just because all the statistics and everything he's racked up in good music, but I'm still gonna lean more into like what connects more naturally with me. Which is why I said with Drake, you can't deny anything that he's done or anything he's achieved. Like
no,
you can't. You can't. That's when you actually sound like a hater. Like
exactly.
You know, and I'm not hating on Drake, you know, but the part of this thing that like really resonates with me is like, okay, now I get to see one person, or at first I thought three people who could really, really, you know, state their claim as the greatest, go at it competitively and all that shit. Cole bowed out. So now it's like one artist who I champion even more than maybe even Cole sometimes, because Kendrick has got a lot of hate for a long time, and I fuck with Cole a lot. And
Kendrick, I don't think he gets hate. I just think he
gets hate, bro.
I don't think he gets hate, because I think he gets hate.
Think
he gets
hate.
I think he gets left out the conversation a lot because he's so distant from the continual riffraff that goes along in the game. And I don't think anyone goes out and says Kendrick is trash, Kendrick ain't this, Kendrick is that.
I hear a lot of people right over time, and then a lot of it relates to like, I guess, what they prefer. But I've seen a lot of people over time be like, yeah, Kendrick, like they don't like how he does some of the gimmicky shit with his voice and all that, like how he does like different, how he raps in different characters seemingly sometimes, and like people don't like that shit, they don't understand that shit, so they don't connect with it, so they like hate on him for that.
It's definitely
so I've seen a lot of people say
taste.
Kendrick's not that nice. Like
he's the third in my top three.
You know
that. I mean, you already know my list, but
sure, and that's fine.
But I look at the music differently, obviously, because if it's medicine, right? That's why sometimes I use music as medicine.
Mm-hmm.
If it's medicine, it needs to treat a symptom or an issue, right? And it needs to I need to connect at least a little bit with it because that's music still.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also need to have enough of it to deal with the issues,
Mm-hmm.
right? So with Kendrick, medicine's highly potent, and it just has a bad, to me, aftertaste. Sometimes it's like too much of something in like, you know what I mean? Like sometimes you gotta need a little bit of honey with your medicine because it goes down a little easier. That's how I like my medicine personally.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the dosage level is a little bit too potent for me. I be having side effects and reactions and stuff. I don't want that, right? I don't just like Chance the Rapper. I don't want to just be randomly going you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's certain things I like about the medicine I get, and then lastly, I think he doesn't have enough of it. It's never in stock. Like whenever I want a new dose of the medicine, it's never available to me. So it's like, how can I make you the GOAT when I can't even get access to the stuff that I need from you on a regular basis?
I'm gonna let you finish.
Having my asthma attack, I need my albuterol. Oh, we don't got that in stock. You might want to try your old inhaler. Nigga, I already used it. No, go get the other one. I used that one too. It's gone. All right, well, look, man, you're going to have to just work on your breathing techniques or something until you get to the next album. It's just not enough. You know what I'm saying? So that's my only complaints with Kendrick. And that's why he's the third in my top 3, but he's still one of the greatest, one of the greats or the greatest of a generation. And I'm okay with saying that. You know, no problem, no hate, no shade. I can recognize talent when I see it. I'd love to work with you too, Kendrick. Come on. Come on,
I'm gonna
bro.
pose this a different way, because just like the last episode where you tried to get me to relate to the street ball shit.
Here we
just
go.
off of this.
Here we go.
Now
You said we wasn't gonna talk about this much.
nah, this be it, and we can dead it after that, because I really don't want to drown it down with this, because this was a lot more the last episode than I wanted to, but I feel like there was good points that came from it.
Yeah.
But we're gonna cut it here.
All right.
Relating this to what you just said about the medicine.
Yes, sir.
Hear me out. I believe Drake's music is the medicine, just off of what you said. You know, I needed to treat symptoms and this is that, whatever. I need enough of it to have consistent doses and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? So Drake's music is the medicine. I believe, if I'm just creating an analogy, Kendrick's music is the actual treatment before you get sick.
Okay.
If that makes sense. Like, I'm a trainer. Like, they say exercise is one of the biggest things to help prevent like all causes or a lot of causes of like mortality and all that other shit.
Right.
So once you're already sick, you need medicine to treat your symptoms.
Okay.
But if you want to put yourself in a position to where you're not getting as sick to where you don't need medicine, that's Kendrick.
Interesting.
Just because the source of the issue comes at a certain point for a lot of things. Like, say, for instance, if you cancer, whatever, there's a lot of things that we do, eat, consume, take in that cause the root issue, which is cancer.
Right.
Rather than being someone who works out on a consistent basis, doesn't eat a lot of the foods with all the dyes in it and all that shit, the shit that we know that's like killing us, to where we get to the point where like, yo, doctor, I need medicine.
Right.
So I believe Drake's music is a treatment for a lot of the things that we as a culture have as a quote unquote toxicity and all that shit. I believe Drake's music like leans into some of that shit.
It does. I ain't gonna argue that.
And that for me is why,
especially more lately.
Exactly. That's why I said I used to prefer Drake a lot more earlier, just because his content was a little bit more like less surface level and more about vulnerability and all that other shit. And it didn't last very long, because once he got lit, it just turned to like party Drake and that shit, which is fine. I understand that's what's giving you your longevity, but I can respect when artists, and this is again goes to like the old mentality, artists who feel like they have to drop all the time, like consistently. To me, it's like, what are you afraid of? Like, is your music connecting with people to where you don't have to feel like handcuffed to like, okay, I got to drop next year, and then this year I'm dropping 2 albums and a mixtape, and I'm gonna drop a little EP for y'all. Like, to me, it's like, let people sit with quality content and then make that decision on how they feel about it later,
Right.
down the line. You know, that's why I respect Kendrick. Drop and go the fuck away. You ain't gonna see from me. You ain't gonna hear from me. You ain't gonna nothing. I'm gonna spend time with my family. I'm gonna enjoy life. You know, You might see me pop out of the show like he did with the Like That record, show in Mexico, and then what he did, right back in the fucking hiding. Like, all right, what's Kendrick doing? Is he writing for the diss? All the other shit. Like, you take breaks because every album he drops, it is a topic of conversation one way or another.
Right.
Oh, this is a classic. Oh, nah, this shit is trash. To Pimp a Butterfly, people was kicking that album to hell and saying like it was whack and all that shit. But then you also have a sector of people, myself, one of those people, being in that group that loved that album because it sat with me and it meant a lot once I took time to sit with it and say, oh, here's another layer to the album that I didn't really understand at first, but it's like, okay, now I see it. It's a little bit deeper, meaning and more connection to the music. So from there, I could live off that album for a good year or two until you want to come back and drop something again, So for me, like, the medicine is like, yo, I need this every freaking 2 months. I need a new album. I need new news. It's like, to me, the treatment, like the holistic solution is, yo, drop an album, make it quality, give some time for people to think about it. And it's been albums where people ain't figured that shit out till years later. Like the whole Damn album, when Kendrick dropped that shit, it was so many, like, theories about what this meant and all that shit, and that was living on the timeline.
Frontwards and backwards. I loved it.
So to me, that's when I'm like, oh, okay, this is fire, know? And
Damn,
it goes along with
Kendrick
great
album.
production, great rapping, great features and all that other shit. And that's, to me, you can live off that for years, which he's done, So for me, that is what I prefer more in an artist. Right. And having these two at where they at now, and this is the last thing I'm going to say about it until we get a fucking response record from Kendrick, is like now I want to see the guy that I like the most kind of go at the microwave shit. And Drake is the head of that shit.
He's the head of the microwave.
So for me, it's like literally
imagery.
Everyone is saying like, oh, it's all everybody against Thanos. But to me, what I enjoy is like one of my favorite artists who I know is a deep thinker. He's a outside the box thinker. The way he makes music, his whole process is different. And now he's staking his claim about like, okay, I'm the champion for this kind of shit, and you're the champion for that kind of shit.
Right.
And this is the medicine versus the whatever. I can't even figure the word out. The medicine versus the
preventative care. You know what I'm saying? Like whatever you want to call it.
This is where I'm at, and this is where you at. Now let's butt heads a little bit and let's see,
Holistic medicine versus pills.
No doubt. It's like Big Pharma versus the shop down the street with all the herbs in it.
Dr. Sebi.
You know what I'm saying? Right. It's like Big Pharma versus Dr. Sebi. And that to me is like what I enjoy most about it, which is why I'm so into this exchange more than a bunch of little other shit that has happened, because the rap beef's been happening. This one I find very, very interesting just because of the two sides of what they're on,
Right.
And I know they both rap. I know both got niggas who come from the hood around them and all the other shit. But what each one represents is interesting to see who comes out on top with that. And that's that for me, man. And that's my spiel.
That was a good spiel, though. I like
no
it.
more on the Drake, Kendrick, all the other shit. Kanye, that verse was whack.
I did have another thing, though, because that it seeped over into R&B now, because Chris Brown dissed, too.
Oh, yeah, Chris Brown and Quavo.
Chris Brown dissed
I'm
Quavo.
more worried about them niggas fighting than,
See, I told you this.
than the rap niggas.
You gotta realize.
Just want to be, and I told you to talk this.
And this is what 2024 has been slowly, revealing itself as the year everyone's letting out their truth and their opinions so vehemently, and I kind of blame Cat Williams. He started the year off with that.
Said it, man.
Well, he set it off this year, and he literally let loose. And ever since then, it's like an energy of just people. I'm not holding back my tongue. I'm saying what's on my mind, and I'm just speaking out real raw, and sometimes really, really disrespectful. And I listened to the Chris Brown beef, and I'm like, here we go. When he said what he said about wishing that it wasn't
Quavo.
It would have been Quavo.
Take off. Yeah.
That to me was like, are we arriving to the place that I feared earlier than I even anticipated, with people that I didn't even think it would be Chris Brown and Quavo be the ones, but I said this toxicity in hip hop, because he didn't write an R&B song. He wrote a hip hop or a rap song. Let me be more accurate. He wrote a rap song at him. And that to me speaks to what I'm most disappointed is about us in the hip hop culture is that we almost celebrate people being toxic to each other in music. And I'm like, I can simply understand why J. Cole stepped aside and said, hey, this is not me. This is not where I want my life or where I want to lead myself. You know what I'm saying? I would rather much go do what I do and make good music, whether it be Big Pharma, Dr. CB, maybe it's a little mix of both with J. Cole. But I'd rather do that than be a part of this riffraff. And he, like I said before, he's the only person I believe who could have honestly done it in a way that we could respect. And he did it, and I think that was one of the best things he could have did. But I'm looking at it now. If something happens to any of these great, artists, I'm gonna look back and say, look, y'all had an opportunity and y'all fumbled the bag, and I could have really just shut all this shit down. And I really look at the OGs. I look at the Snoop Dogs. I look at the Jay-Z's. They should have been called to counsel to these niggas and say, sit the fuck down, dog. Like, why are
They might have. He might not be listening.
I don't know if they have or not. But if Ice Cube don't get his ass down there from the big three, and Snoop Dogg and Dre and Jay and Nas and Nas should have came out and said, you didn't let me down, and back J. Cole. Like, these are the moments where we're looking at hip hop and it's like, oh, you OGs, Cam and all these niggas should be coming down and saying, nah, you good. Like, you it's okay. Styles P, I think the only one that was like, I respected it. I appreciated Styles for that. But
it's
like,
a lot of people said they respected it.
I just don't feel like they really are doing a service to our community, because they really want to uphold this toxic shit that hasn't helped our community at all. What has it done for us besides give more trauma and created more animosity? It ain't done shit for us. Ain't do shit for us.
I mean, we can leave it there.
I'm sorry, I get a little on soapbox. I ain't even got no wine. I ain't even got no wine. I ain't even got no wine today.
So we gonna leave it there, man. We will move forward, because
I know I'll be here all day.
Yeah, we be here all day. I'm trying to get out of this shit. What you want to talk about then? It's all you, man. I mean, it's time. It's playoff time. It's playoff time. It's playoff time. And it's a great time to be alive, because now we can watch all the regular season.
What's your favorite playoff memory? You have one?
A favorite playoff memory?
Yeah, when you was a kid, you watch the games, obviously.
Watching the Knicks go to the finals in 1999, 2000, that season.
That was your favorite one?
Yeah, I'm a Knicks fan. I'm a New York kid. So
okay.
That was what made me fall in love with basketball, really, at that point, because I've been a ball player for a couple years, like few years at that point. But that series and that strength, like those series in that year, was what kind of like made me like, all right, cool, I really want to go for this shit. Like 13 years old, never forget it. Watching that team go as the A seed to the finals that year and end up getting their ass beat, which is cool. I get it. We just wasn't the better team, and that's fine, but we made a great run. So that to me, like, kind of, at least early in my life, let me know that this is like a real thing. Like, competitive basketball is at its highest, is like, what I started to want to strive for with my life off of that series. So easily favorite playoff memober. I got a bunch, man. So I've been watching the playoffs my whole fucking life.
I mean, if I could do mine real quick, I was gonna say that I can't go with the Knicks because it was the time when Reggie Miller, I felt like he scored like 9 points in like less than 10 seconds. It was crazy. Yeah. It was a dagger, and I was just so ashamed of the Knicks in that moment. I was like, I'm done. This is when my dad was putting us on. He used to give us lima beans and cheeseburgers. It was horrible. Then he couldn't cook for shit. Sorry, pops, you just couldn't. But lima beans and cheeseburgers. We would sit there and watch the Knicks game, and the Knicks lost. It was like, ugh. I was like, I don't want to watch this. I don't want to watch it anymore. But my favorite memory is
Reggie though.
We used to have
Reggie.
Michael Jordan. I got the Chicago Bulls and my Jordan ones on. But when Jordan used to come out, down, like that opening, I got goosebumps every single time.
Man,
just sitting him come out, man, it was just a magical moment. It just made you feel like you was about to be on the court yourself. It was amazing, and I just never forgot. Even when I play on 2K,
theme song is legendary.
Yeah, it was one of those Jones for me. I just always think about that when the playoffs start. It's just something different.
Nah, facts.
But
This year's litty though.
What you thinking about the playoffs so far this year?
It's only game ones. We ain't got to see no game twos yet.
I know. So far,
I think that everything is shaking out, the way it should technically, because the playoffs don't really start until home teams lose, and all the home teams they held put in the first round. My Knicks, I'm rooting for them. Chips in the future. This year we ain't gonna win no chip.
You don't think so?
No. We ain't going to the chip this year. I'll be happy with. I'm a Stephen A. I'm gonna go for the Eastern Conference Finals. I'm happy with that this year.
You're happy with that?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
For the Knicks organization.
For the Knicks. I be forgetting for Knicks. It's like that's going to the Super Bowl.
I mean, you got to take the steps. You got to take the steps towards getting a championship, and I think that'll put us in a great position going forward to attract more talent to come back to the city and just put us in a good lane to make a good run the next few years. While we got Jalen Brunson. Huh?
If you don't think it's them, who's going to be?
What, to the chip?
Yeah.
I said it. Celtics. Easy.
The Celtics is there, huh?
They're by far the best team in the East.
Yeah,
they won the regular season by 14 games.
Yeah, three-pointer is crazy.
And I think they shoot too many threes, if I'm just being honest. So that could work against them when they do get to the chip. But I think it's almost a foregone conclusion that they're going to get to the chip. We'll be surprised if they don't.
Do you think Dame will have any answer for them? Or?
I like Dame. 35.
I'm just saying.
35 yesterday.
First half.
That divorce shit, I told you, once you shake off that divorce, that shit is a different.
Oh, no.
This is a different animal, bro.
Are you speaking from personal?
Listen.
Was that too far? I'm gonna come on back.
Yeah, we're going to reel that back in.
All I'm saying is, when it comes down to it, Milwaukee has an opportunity here, right? I think, is Giannis going to be healthy by the time they need to play them?
If I'm just being honest, and this is just my personal opinion, I think Giannis got to shut it down.
Really?
I've had a calf injury before in my career.
Yeah, what happened?
It took a long time to work back from that shit to where I was able to feel.
What was the cause of the injury though? Is it like just
non-contact?
Non-contact,
just like Giannis shit did, running and your shit strains,
Damn.
So I know what it's like to work back from that shit for real, and I had a bad one, so I was out months.
Damn.
Months. It ain't a muscle group to play around with, especially for a high competitor. And I know, and I'm not saying that if you healthy enough to go out there and give it a shot, don't, because I probably would my damn self if I was him. I just knowing the competitor that I am, because you just want to be out there. It's just how that shit goes. So I do understand that part, but I don't think that that's something to play around with, unless it's just the medical staff feels really, really good. Last superstar we had happen in that situation was Kevin Durant. Achilles.
Yeah, and then yeah, that was bad to see on. It was bad to see on TV.
And I would hate to see that for Giannis and his career in general.
But do you think
I think Embiid should sit his ass down too if we just being 100% honest.
I was gonna say, do you think that should be the same message you send over to Joel? Yeah. Because Joel self off the backboard, alley oops.
Come on,
it was just
first
a weird
time
play.
He tried to dunk, bro,
and I don't understand why he did it.
First
but then
time
once he did it,
fire too. I ain't going like the way he pulled that off. Was fire.
Crazy, but it was like at what cost?
Yeah,
and what? First of all, I don't know how he plays the style he plays in. He's a different way. He's 7'2".
He don't look mobile.
Sit your big ass in the paint and just turn your back to the basket and receive the ball and then turn around, hook.
Hey man,
turn around, jump.
I could talk about my
fake,
gripes with Embiid game all day. This is why
he needs to talk to somebody. Like he needs to. First of all, he needs to play like Hakeem, and he would dominate. And I don't understand.
Different era though.
I understand that, but he can still, because that who's gonna stop that play at 7'2"?
I agree, but it's a different era. Like the
Joker's
three ball
doing
is
something similar to him in some ways, but he goes to the basket a lot more. This is what
I'm saying. I do understand Embiid being a versatile player just because he has that ability. I think he relied, and this has been my gripe with Embiid's game for a long time. I just think that great regular seasons, great numbers, all that shit. Won the MVP. I'm not hating on none of that. I just have a gripe with his game that he relies a little bit too much more on the finesse side of things. And, and that's just me as a player personally. When you that tall, that dominant, and that big, you can do whatever the hell you want from a post perspective. And you can create a lot of things for your team. I'm not saying don't float out and be someone who can shoot the basketball, I'm
Right.
always going to like salute people who are versatile. That's just something that I value as a basketball mind. Versatility is when you versatile, and this is what I was told when I was very, very young. The more versatile you are as a player, the more valuable you are to whatever team you go to.
I agree with that.
Just because they can use you in so many different ways. I just think he relies a little bit too much more on like where your bread is buttered, like know where your bread is buttered, and that's in the paint. You know, I just think now at this point in his career and his like where he's at right now, sit your ass down,
Sit
please.
your ass down.
And I don't want to do that just because I want my Knicks to win, because I know that can be like misconstrued to say I would love to just beat your ass with you out there on the floor all the time, because you know I'm my heart, my dog in the fight is the Knicks with that series. But I think he's not healthy, man, and I don't like seeing him like go out like that. To me, if I'm just being honest, because you're gonna go out. Knicks in 5 is my call.
Oh,
Knicks in 5, but
talking bold.
But yeah, 9 a
Ain't
year.
your
Back
boy
to
a Sixers fan too?
Who?
Your one boy a Sixers fan.
Yeah, die hard.
Yeah. So you might want. I mean, I don't know. Talking all that boldness.
Right after the playing game, he hit me up. I'm like, yeah, Knicks in 5 is what I told him. Knicks in 5.
All right, I ain't saying nothing
Knicks
else.
in 5.
Listen,
Dame.
EFS fam. Hey, this is all him.
Dame killed. I think he need Giannis, and I think he need 100% Giannis to even have a crack.
Do you think the team is good enough to, despite Giannis, to still push to at least the Eastern Conference Finals?
Yes and no.
Why?
Because it depends on the others that we keep talking about. You know,
the others got to step up.
The players who are role players around is meant to supplement a lot of the things that you do with your superstars and just be able to play off of them. We gotta see how they turn out. Middleton played well yesterday. Like he played really, really well. I think that if he continues to play like that, then they got more of a shot.
He's a true second option, right?
Yeah. Because the thing is, what really happened is Dame had 35. Most of that being in the first half. They cut the water off in the second half, and he didn't score. I think he may have scored.
They still won.
Did he
by
not
a
score
good
in the
margin.
second half at all?
No, not at all.
Yeah,
not at all.
He didn't score in the second half. 35 in the first half. Amazing performance from Dame. But if
he could have went crazy if he wanted to, but they said, "Calm down. We need you for the next game."
I mean, maybe that, but they also put more of a focus on again, cut the water off, which is why the other players got going. Are we going to get that on a consistent basis? Because if Dame start torching, they're going to react to that. You know, they're going to.
But if he's already got the lead scoring in where he did, yeah, it's fine. Cut the water off, but. True. The lead is already so far ahead that y'all can't catch up.
You can't count on that every game. Not
That's
with
not
Indiana.
Every game. No, I get
not
you.
with Indiana.
Yeah.
Indiana is proven all season long that they the
got
top scoring offense in the league. So I don't think they're gonna play like that every game. And we're gonna see. But I think the Bucks make it out that series. Yeah. Without Giannis, I think they got a good. If Giannis don't play at all in the first series, then I think they still make it out in 6.
Okay. Give them 2 games. I appreciate that.
They're not tested.
Yeah.
Indiana, battle tested. They young. Right. They the upstarts in the East. Like I get all that shit. I don't think it pans out to where they win that series.
Okay.
You know, I think too many vets, too many high level minds, and even Doc Rivers. People can knock him all they want to, but Doc Rivers has been a lot of playoff battles.
Yeah.
And I think he knows now
5
at this
different teams,
point
isn't it?
to get this. I can't keep track of the number.
So many teams he's been on: Sixers, Clippers. Sixers, Clippers. Who else? Now with Milwaukee.
Sixers, Clippers, Milwaukee.
Didn't he do somewhere else? Didn't he go somewhere else?
I mean, we can go back, but his main run started coming with the Sixers, and the Clippers first, then the Sixers. Like those have been his best runs in the playoffs.
Milwaukee. Okay, I'm just thinking.
But he's been around.
He's
a Marquette guy, so shout out to Doc Rivers. You know,
Marquette.
But either way, I just think he'll have them more ready to play on a consistent basis and play within the scheme of what playoff basketball is like than the Indiana Pacers. Because playoff basketball it's the same game, but it's different. Like so. Everything weighs more. We already talked about the decisions get a little bit tighter, and you got to have players that are cool, calm under pressure, and have been in those battle-tested situations over and over again to not react to the moment to where they start doing things that cost them possessions, cost them the game, all those things. So I think Bucks have that one.
Hot take is SAG a superstar?
SGA?
SGA, excuse me. I said SAG.
Yeah, no.
SGA, excuse me.
That guy's, yeah.
Superstar.
I really like his game. If I'm just being honest.
So
and I'm very particular about the players' games.
Superstar. Luka is a superstar.
Luka's a superstar too.
Okay,
Hell yeah.
as long as we're on the same. Okay, SGA is a superstar. Can he take his team
to where? Sorry, I'm gonna let you finish first before I give my opinion.
To the Western Conference Finals.
Western Conference Finals is gonna be tricky. That'd be tricky.
Why is that? Because
they young too.
Who's in his way?
They young too.
Who's in his way that's gonna stop him? That's my question.
I mean, there's teams that can upset them throughout the way. They might not make it out of this series, you know.
Ooh, even though they won?
They won the first game. I said everybody held put the first game. So being in that position, you were doing what you're supposed to do. That's what they say. In the playoffs, you do what you're supposed to do. You hold home court. The team with home court advantage usually wins. It don't really start until one team loses at home, you know.
So you don't think that they I mean, the best team in the West won their first playoff game. Their confidence is growing, right? They have, I would say, arguable. What's their track? They got either, was it Clippers next? Clippers or Mavericks next? Is that their next?
I think that's how it breaks down.
Yeah. So
yeah,
I think they can push past them, right? Clippers are tough. Clippers are tough because they got Kawhi. They got Harden,
they get out of this series because they didn't win by much last night, and that game was a lot closer than people would give it credit for.
Yes, it was very close towards the end.
Contested contest.
It was wild.
Watched the whole game. You know?
Yes.
So they got to make it out of that series. They're young, you know. They're young. The Pelicans ain't that really battle tested either. So
that's a good point.
I think that one, if I had to give it like a dark horse upset, like it'd probably be the Pelicans beating them, you know. But do I think they make out of that series? Yeah. But I think they struggle in the next one. They struggle in the next one. If I'm just being honest. And SGA's a superstar. I'm not saying he's not capable of carrying that team. He's carried them all year.
Don't forget Chet.
Chet is cool. Chet is good.
Like like that. Yeah,
you good, but
you gave it up like he is like, I don't care about no Chet.
I don't. Not in deep playoff runs.
He's not battle tested yet. But at the same time,
none of them
has
really
talent.
are.
He has a level of talent.
Talent is cool, but even if you go back to the old OKC when KD and James Harden and freaking Russell Westbrook were on that team,
talent was there.
Their talent was there, but they was not battle tested. So that team ended up breaking apart because they couldn't make good enough runs throughout until they had to get. They were literally going through their trials and tribulations in the playoffs.
But if you look at them now, Russell Westbrook and James Harden
are back on the Clippers.
That's
why I said
they're winning.
Their Clippers are my dark horse to make it out the West.
So you're thinking it's going to be Clippers versus Celtics?
Maybe. I'm saying Western Conference Finals, Clippers and Celtics.
Oh, okay.
Clippers and Nuggets.
You said out the West. That's why I was
Clippers and Nuggets. They're my dark horse to make it out the West, but I don't know if I would put all my money on them. That's why I said dark horse because the Nuggets is proven, you know. Mm-hmm. But I think they meet up in the Western Conference Finals if the Clippers make it out of this series. And
so you just giving no hope to the Lakers, huh?
Nah, Lakers is done, bro. I told you.
It's over. They cooked. Is it because Jokers just can't be cracked like that?
If they lose tonight,
it's done.
If they lose tonight, I think they get swept.
It's sweeping?
Hell yeah.
Damn.
I think this is the game because from there, I don't see them. I don't see them winning four.
Who is the most important person that has to step up tonight in the Lakers squad?
D'Angelo Russell.
Yeah, he did drop the ball the first game.
D'Angelo Russell. I can't be mad at Bron. I can't be mad at AD.
D'Angelo. So he's the third option. He needs to step up. I agree with you. I was gonna say because usually I'm used to you giving me at least a little bit of Anthony Davis slander. I was gonna say
AD been on business.
Yeah, he been doing his thing,
and not for nothing the way he played the game. The first game, the game one, like I ain't got he's really came out there to say, all right, cool, I'm being aggressive, I'm attacking, I'm trying to assert myself early, often, and throughout the game.
Yep.
And he's been calling for that smoke since last season was over. Like, you know, he said, like, he basically said they went out like chumps against the Nuggets. So yeah, we want them back. Time. So now you got them back. Do I think they got enough to make it out of the series? No, because LeBron and AD is gonna have to play on a almost godly level over the next few games if they're not going to get enough from the supporting cast, you know.
Off chance they win this series, are they then favorites to win
Lakers?
The Western Conference?
Nah.
So even if they do win, you still don't believe they'll win.
Nah, because I still haven't seen them
West.
play well enough against the rest of the field to say that they might not lose to any one of those teams.
What about during the NBA Cup? Just trying to find a way to get that in.
Nah, it's over. It's
I'm
over,
trying to find
bro.
a way to get in there. Because every time I bring the NBA Cup, he hates it. I told
because
family.
this is now we really gonna see what it plays out to be. And if you're going by my predictions back when you was yelling at NBA Cup shit, it's played out exactly how I thought it would.
Yep,
So
but they still in the playoffs.
They made it through the playoffs.
They made it to the playoffs. To me, that's still a testament that the NBA Cup, it does have some validity in terms
it
of.
doesn't. That's just a testament to them playing well against.
It does have some validity that a quality team won the cup because they're at least quality enough to get into the playoffs. You got to be a certain
into the
level.
playoffs by winning a play.
They weren't the worst. They weren't the worst team. They weren't the team that had to win two.
Into the playoffs by
they
winning
weren't the one that had to win two. They were at the level where back in the day,
that means it was almost good enough for the jump.
Even in old rules, they would have made it in because it was the top 8 teams.
I mean,
they would have made it in regardless. Come on now.
So what? So the last team to make it in, the second to last team basically to make it in the playoffs, more or less won the NBA Cup.
That's what I'm saying. It still has some validity to the cup.
It ain't got no validity to the cup.
All right.
It ain't got no validity to the cup if they don't win the fucking NBA championship too.
So he has to win the cup and the championship, and then he'll be better than Jordan.
Nah, because that's never gonna happen.
There's nothing he could do.
Nah, it's nothing.
Listen,
there's nothing.
No matter how many cups,
and
how
he
many
ain't gonna
chips,
get the chance to prove it. Not this year because he's going home. His first round exit.
All right, we'll see.
We're gonna see. But yeah, it's interesting, man. Game 2 is tonight. We'll see how this thing roll out. Continue to keep this in conversation for sure because I've been waiting for this all year. NBA basketball is prime time. Like, we see the real dogs are.
You think they're gonna knock out LeBron James from the first round?
Yeah, he's going in the first round. KD ass might be going in the first round too, if I'm just being honest.
KD gonna be knocked out in the first round.
Might. I don't know. We'll see. We gotta see if we trust the Timberwolves.
Ant was going crazy.
Nah, Ant went bananas.
Ant went crazy, and I love him. I love him being that kind of.
I like Ant. I like Ant.
He's definitely like.
Now Ant is, to me, Ant is healthy toxic.
Here we go.
If I just gotta elaborate a little bit more about what I meant, Ant is like healthy toxic.
What you mean?
Just because the level of competition that he goes out there and like, I'm gonna stand on my shit. I'm the best guard in the NBA, and anytime I see any of you niggas in front of me, I'm going to run through y'all and prove to you that I'm better than you.
Disrespectful levels of
and it ain't even disrespect. It's just competition.
That's what I'm saying. Different level of competition. It's like
me, alpha competition.
He's going hard in the paint, and he's gonna yam it in your face
and do a bunch of other things, mid-range game,
talk to you, and
ball handling ability,
flex in your face.
All that. Got a great skill set. You got a great package as a player.
I like it.
I think he gets a little, gets a little too dribble happy sometimes, but he makes a lot of shit work.
He's a full package player,
especially in that mid range. Got a great package.
I didn't realize how much of a complete player he was until
he's complete. I think the next level of his game is his playmaking and passing ability, which he's a pretty decent passer at this point. But at this juncture of his career, this point right now, he's a dog. He's one of my favorite guards. I will probably, and I know I said SGA is a superstar. I would probably want to watch Ant more than SGA, just because SGA is he's like that silent killer. And
yes, he doesn't really talk. He doesn't really.
And now he talks.
He does.
He talks. He pops his shit.
It's not like Ja. It's not
just
like
not
Ant.
as loud.
It's not like that.
Ant's game. Ant's game he got a very loud,
it's
powerful.
Ferocious,
he's fast. He's athletic. He gonna dunk on you. He gonna pull up in your face. All that, and then he gonna let you know I'm busting your ass while doing all that shit at the same time.
Yeah.
And I think that is dope. It's dope to see that.
Does
I like
Ant have
that
a shoe?
Kinda.
Does Ant have a shoe?
Yeah, he got a shoe.
You like his shoes?
Yeah, he was. I didn't like him at first. I thought they was a little bit trash, but I got to like him more and more as the season went on. I understand.
I gotta see his drinks. I never bought a pair of Ants.
Yeah, AE1s. Ant Edwards ones is what they call Adidas joints.
Adidas. That's why I don't like them already.
You like the trays? You told me you like the trays.
I have the trays, yes.
Right.
I like the trays.
So you like some Adidas shoes.
I like the trays, and And I'm looking at these and I'm not impressed. I'm sorry.
It looked like a spaceship a little bit.
It does look like a big ass boat on your foot.
But that's on first view.
Oh yeah, second view.
That's
I'm
on
looking at the
first
second
view.
picture
You gotta
now.
look at it like next week, and you gotta
Maybe
look at
next
it the
week.
next week after that, and the shit start to grow.
These shits is ugly, bro. I don't know.
They
who,
not uglier than the moon boots they made for Kobe back in the day.
But who wears those?
I've seen a lot of people start to like them.
I'm not. You're not gonna convince me, nigga. I know ugly, and I know what doesn't
a lot of
look
people
dope.
start to like them. You know?
These shits is weird. Man, I don't know who's
But
in the design
shoes
team.
are weird now. It's like you got to get used to the shoes being weird a little bit.
Who got to
and then
do
you
that? I ain't got
start
to do
to.
this. This motherfucker.
Well, you gonna
I
wait.
won't be
You ain't
dropping
about to
my
hoop in
$100.
those. You're not about to hoop in the Jordan 1s for the rest of your
my
life.
big ass is not about the hoop at all.
I'm saying
my
but
job is
even
commentator.
If you're a hooper,
Okay.
you ain't about to
Hey
hoop
Bob,
in the
go
Jordan
back to
1s.
you. I'm the commentator. I am
No
not
doubt.
going out there and
But maybe not for
hooping.
you. Maybe not for you.
Look at these shits. You see these shits?
I've seen them. You looking at the white ones though. The white on black one. That's like the
Big
first
ass
one. You
clown
got to look at
shoes.
the other colorways. And
I wear a
shit, too.
size 13. I know you got a big ass foot. What's your size?
I don't hoop in Adidas like
What
that.
you wear though?
I wear a 14, 15.
14,
depending.
15. Come on. Can you imagine that big ass shoe on your 14, 15? Come
No,
on, dog. That's
because
not gonna work.
I'm not gonna hoop in those.
Yeah.
I'm just saying I don't hate them as much as I originally thought I did.
But you did hate them though.
And
So
I
I'm
hear
not-
they got great reviews. They got great on-court reviews. Hoopers
so
love them.
In terms of hoopers,
As
are
far as
gonna wear 'em.
performance of a shoe, they
Yeah.
say that shit is fire. Traction is great. Like
This is not for fashion.
Nah, certain shoes is for fashion. Certain
Like
shoes
these
is
right
for,
here,
I
like
mean,
you know
right.
I'm wearing these
That's
because
classic Jordans. It's classic.
these work my fit.
Yeah.
I can't pull up in an Anthony Edwards one.
You can
and
pull
think-
up in somebody's face in the Ant Edwards ones.
I guess so.
For Trey,
Green as fuck, boy.
you know, for Trey,
No, but I just
and
can't.
tell him you trash on the way back down the
I
court.
like the trays. Trays are fashionable though. I can wear
Trays ain't
them.
fashionable.
What you mean?
I don't like the trays for anything.
You said now you
For
just hating on Trey because it's Knicks. You're not hiding your
Well,
bias
I
towards
like,
Trey.
I like Trey.
No, but you don't like Trey because it's playoff time. The Knicks. I know what it is.
They not in the playoffs.
I know.
I got no
And
hate
that's why
for
you.
Trey.
That's why you happy because you
doing
like. I ain't worried
content
about
right now
Trey.
with this shit with Bleacher Report. Like I ain't got no qualms with Trey. I just don't like his shoe like that. You know.
Listen, I like those sneakers. I'm not gonna buy me a pair of Anthony Edwards. It's okay.
They not for everybody. They not for
definitely ain't
everybody.
me.
And it's
I'll tell you
fine.
that. But next
Hey,
time,
Ant, man.
Ant, just
You
call
a
me.
dog, bro.
Call me, bro. I'll help you with the fashion side of things. We don't gotta do that no more. Come out there with them sneakers.
I'm sure Ant has a lot of people on the Adidas
And they-
team
and they
that
fuck it up,
made
'cause
the
look at their
shoe
shoes.
exactly
They
how he
fucked
wanted
up.
to make them. And if you keep doing what you're doing in those shoes, then I ain't got no problem with you, bro.
All right.
At Waldo Black for that one.
Yeah, please
At
come
Waldo
come
Black.
holler at me and I'll make
Ant
that shit
Edwards
look fire.
is a dog, and we like your shoes. Well, I like your shoes. Whatever.
Nah, it's all good though.
All right, man. What we got next, man? What's up next?
Got a
on the
lot of
topic
things,
list?
man. Like I was trying to segue earlier. You said knocking out King James. Speaking of knocking out people, what about that Garcia Haney fight?
I had the timeline in a buzz. A lot of people took an L fucking with Devin Haney.
Oh,
A
man.
lot of people lost their
Whoa,
bread
man.
fucking with Devin Haney.
I ain't never gonna let that.
Yeah. You lucky he ain't knock you out
Yeah,
for
he
real.
didn't knock him out, but
Like,
he knocked him down
you
three
lucky
times.
you ain't knock
I
him
think.
out for real.
3 times.
Yeah,
and it's
3
just like-
knockdowns.
Now this whole fight just made me think about the fight previously with Ryan Garcia
The Tank?
to Tank, and it makes me wonder: do we need a round 2 of that? Do we need to go back to that conversation?
It
Because
depends, because I gotta see crazy Ryan in the ring with Tank.
because this Ryan
was a little bit more reserved and put together
Yeah.
before that fight. I feel
I
like
don't
after
know.
that fight is when the kidnapping and all that
cocaine's
shit.
a hell of a drug. I don't know what's happening this time around.
I believe he
Listen,
he pulled the fix on y'all. Like
he went crazy this fight, and I loved it because
I don't believe he was as crazy as people were saying he was. I think that was a facade.
I think it was too.
I
It was
think
tactical,
it was a facade.
but it fed into to me. It fed into a different persona that he needed to fulfill. Sometimes you can mentally manifest certain outcomes just by you thinking and operating in a different way. And I
No
think
doubt.
he started moving differently in this fight. To even before with press conferences, everything leading up to it.
Crazy
Like,
Ryan.
It was like this whole thing, but because of that, I think he psychologically disarmed his opponent.
No doubt.
and put him in a place where he wasn't ready to fight.
And then beat his ass
new person.
all over that ring.
It was crazy.
And then beat his ass all over that
But
ring.
I thought Haney did better because, like, what happened was, at least to me, Haney was actually winning the boxing match in the sense of, protecting the sweet science. Like, he was doing his job, but then he got caught so many times that.
Then you ain't doing your job. If you get put on your ass 3 times in a fight.
Yeah, as I said, but ultimately he got caught. You know what I'm saying? That's what happens.
And that's why boxing is tricky. All it takes is one punch.
It really does and changes everything.
And if you let Crazy Ryan in the ring with you, then there's a chance you might get hit by that one punch 3 times and get put down 3 times.
I don't think that Ryan
Crazy
Garcia's
Ryan,
a better.
I'll fuck with you, bro.
I'll fuck with you too, Ryan. But I still don't think he's better than. I don't think he's better than Tank. But I think again, Tank has been. I think he has some legal troubles and things like that, so he might not be the Tank that we remember either. So this is the best time to try it again.
For everything involved with Tank,
Yeah. But I think that everything could come back and we can make this big fight happen again.
I mean, I would love to see it.
I would love to see it.
And I want Crazy Ryan. I want that nigga that was
same one talking reckless.
I want that guy
talking
I
crazy,
want that kid,
greasy.
All that put together image and all that shit. If that was, and it was good before then, but now I think.
This is the best way. This is the best version of Ryan Garcia, you think?
I mean, this is the best version of him in the ring.
Okay.
Outside with all the other shit. If all the other shit is actually going on there, maybe not, man. You're a loose cannon. But if you're going to box like that, stay right where you at, baby.
Here's the thing.
Run it back with Tank, and we're going to see.
This is the only time I think where the toxicity is it's like controlled chaos. If you're going to be toxic, let's get the 2 men, put them in the square in the square circle, and they can go at each other and see what happens, and see who's the better man, and then they shake hands respectfully and walk away. To me, that's the only time talking reckless can really reach an outcome that I can, we all can accept. Boom, 2 men, you get in there, you go hand to hand, you see who's better, and you walk away. That's it.
I mean, that's true, I guess, but
that's
everything is just different.
I enjoy fighting. I enjoy
everything
MMA,
is just different forms of that.
Nah, man.
Like if you say you want to see the best 2 teams in basketball go at it, that is their boxing match. If you whatever avenue you have to get off your shit, that's your competitive. That's your field.
But the only thing I dislike about a lot of that, and I love sports, I love watching it, I enjoy it, it's entertainment, but it gets to that point where because it's an entertainment thing, it turns into this other, like there's another space behind the veil that gets a little weird, right? You go back in the years of the NBA, there was referees that was calling games certain ways so they can get money.
Humans, man.
I know. That's the only thing I dislike about the other side of it. That's all I'm saying. We ain't got to get on a soapbox.
Love to be entertained.
I'm not going to get on my soapbox today. I'm going to spare y'all EFS family. Not today. You won't get me today.
Hey, man.
But I do want to see that Tank fight round 2 with Garcia with no rehydration clause. I want both fighters to be in the position where they're at what they feel is their best or whatever, and they just go in. And we'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens. I pay to see it.
I ain't gonna pay to see it.
Actually, if you pay, I'll just come over your house.
Nah, I'm gonna go to somebody else's house who pay, and then we gonna watch it over there.
Just let me be a plus one.
I ain't paid for actual boxing match in a long time.
Nah, man. Ever since Mike Tyson fight happened,
say what you want. I ain't paying for these boxing matches.
Did you see the workouts Mike Tyson's doing these days?
Nah, I haven't. Actually.
Oh man, there was a Mike Tyson video.
Been quiet till I seen him pop up at the Ryan fight.
Nah, he
it ain't been on my algorithm. So
yeah, my algorithm is crazy.
My algorithms these different places sometimes.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I be having to reel my algorithms back in sometimes. Like, yo, I'm seeing a lot of too much of this shit. Let me go follow and find someone who I know give it this kind of content.
All that comes on my algorithm nowadays is dog pet videos and like baby stuff, man. That's all that comes on.
Hey,
you know what I mean?
It might be that season for you.
You know what I'm saying? That's all I got on my algorithm. That's all I want because I don't want too much toxicity on there. But anyway, there was a video of Mike Tyson. He's strapped up and he's going crazy. Here it is. You see this joint?
This is recent.
This is crazy. You see that? He's gonna.
I feel like Mike always be on this shit though.
But he has the stuff strapped. I don't know if that's the right one, but he has the stuff strapped to. It's tracking his muscle movement and all that. It's just crazy. all the workout he's doing, he's looking like he's like reversing the clock back.
Listen, man.
I mean, he's 57 years old, but the way he's moving.
I love you, Mike, but Father Time is undefeated.
The way he's moving, the way he's going at it, man, I think
Time
he
is
has the
undefeated.
power to put him on his ass still.
It's all it takes is one punch,
All it
right?
takes is one punch. And
I'm still giving him credit for that, but all that workout shit he doing is just putting him in the peak level of athleticism for a 57-year-old. Like, which compared to how old is Jake Paul? I don't even know.
That's a good point.
How old is Jake Paul? There's different levels. When you're younger, you faster, stronger, all of the good shit.
So you don't think that he has one knockout power?
Yeah, he does.
Oh, okay.
It don't take, if you want to be honest, the science of what it takes to knock someone out ain't that much.
Yeah.
Do boxers have way higher levels of powers than regular humans?
Yes.
Yes, of course.
So do you think
There's a lot of regular humans that can knock somebody out. And it don't take much to really knock somebody out. It just take the right angle, the right timing, and delivering a hit to the head. That's going to put the person down.
Just to make it interesting, you've seen, was it Coming to America? No, it was the other one. Trading Places, I think it was. Eddie Murphy movie.
Mm-hmm.
And they made $1 bet.
Yeah.
You down for $1 bet?
$1 bet?
$1 bet. Who you gonna take in this scenario? Mike Tyson or Jake Paul?
My money is always on Mike.
Your money's on Mike.
I'd be a hypocrite if my money wasn't on Mike.
We ain't got to bet then.
I'm just saying.
But no,
I'll do
it though. I'll do it with you. I'll take Jake Paul. $1 bet. You Jake Paul. I mean Jake Paul. You on Tyson
for the fight or a knockout
for the fight.
Knockdown
for the fight. Winning the fight.
We'll revisit that.
You said like, it's $1. It ain't like it's gonna hurt.
It's true, but it's $1, but it's also my name and opinion on the line too. So I ain't for me to put my name behind something, then I gotta really do the research and understand what
I'll do.
Nah, because then it's wishy-washy. And if I don't want to bet on Jake. I'd rather see Mike knock Jake out. But Mike again is 57.
He's 57. So you're making an argument for your bet.
The argument goes against my bet.
I just told you can have Jake Paul.
I don't want Jake Paul.
But
my heart is not with Jake Paul, so I'd rather keep it where my heart is at, or I'm just not betting at all.
Oh, okay. All right. I see.
I'm not going to put my money on somebody who I don't really, unless I'm actually putting a substantial amount of money that could, win me some real ends on the way back. Yeah, nah. For $1, nah. That's more about my name than the actual bet.
Ain't nobody tripping. EFS family, we'll give him some grace, man. Don't let that man's name get ran in the mud because he put his bet on.
I'm hard on my harshest critic, bro.
Yeah, I know.
That's why I'm not putting my money unless I can actually, believe in what I'm putting out there for.
You said something
like Knicks in 5. Anybody that want any smoke for Knicks in 5, hit me, DMs. We got Venmo, we got Cash App, we got Zelle.
I'll put $1 bet on that. I'll put $1 bet on that.
Knicks in 5.
So
holla at me.
So here's my bet though. It's either they you said Knicks in 5. Now if they sweep, that's still a loss on you. You said 5.
See, that's different.
Now come on.
Me saying Knicks in 5 is giving y'all grace if we just gonna keep it funky.
You want the over under? I'm just trying to say.
I'm not going to the books. I'm just saying if we want to bet on the Knicks series, I'm calling Knicks in 5. I got 5 games for the Knicks to win. So if they win it in 4, even better from my side of the argument that we just beat the shit out of any of the Sixers and these niggas in front of us.
With an injured Embiid, I don't know if they're gonna make it past the 4 games, but we'll see the next game.
You see. We'll see what happens, man. They're not going to sit him out. I know they're not going to sit him out. So Knicks in 5 is my bet for anybody. And I'm standing on that. And if they make me a liar, then I'll come on here and apologize. But it's Knicks in 5 all day.
You going to do your J. Cole out here?
Nah, I ain't going to do the J. Cole.
What you mean? You going to come out and apologize? That's what I'm saying.
Nah, but see, I'm going to live the fight out. Is what's going to happen first before I actually say I apologize and I regret my pick for putting the Knicks over the Sixers.
This guy.
Nah, we got to play it out. Until then, we Knicks in 5.
All right.
That's it, period. I got some hate to offer up real quick, and it's going to be quick hate, and then I'm out of here. We got some real shit to talk about.
What's the hate you got? What's the hate?
Taylor Swift.
What's up?
Have you heard the album?
No, I didn't. I don't listen to Taylor Swift.
I ain't listening to that shit either. So I've served some people say I'm going to give it a listen. I'm probably not. I'm going to just be honest, Taylor. I ain't going to give it a listen.
I don't necessarily listen to Taylor Swift.
She's about to move 2 million units supposedly in this first week.
That's amazing.
Is it?
Yeah.
Amazing for who?
Taylor Swift.
All right. Yeah. No doubt.
Yeah.
Amazing with Taylor Swift.
I mean, as an artist, I would dream to be on a platform or a level where my music drops and 2 million people cop it in the same week. That'd be.
Is it hype or
Yes.
is it just?
Yes.
All right. So
Straight hype.
So we are in the same agreement that
It's straight.
It's just Taylor hype that's getting all the.
It's hype. It's timing. It's the machine that's pumping out inflated numbers. It's a few things.
All right.
She has the entire machine backing the Taylor Train, project. The Taylor Swift machine is one that is supposed to be relatable to any girl between the ages of 35 and 15. And she speaks to a demographic that is longing for raw emotional connection and expression of self through simple, relatable lyrics that are not necessarily transcendent, but not necessarily too deep either, or not. But they're not deep, but they're not deep. They're very much in a sweet spot that you can feel like, oh, I understand her and she understands me simultaneously, and it's fed on a platform and served up in a platter in a format that's easily digestible. It's like ready-made meals, but they're nutritious. It's Hello Fresh. It's at your door every time. And if you're subscribed to the Taylor Swift machine, you're involved not only in the music, but you're involved in relationships. You're involved in watching NFL with your boyfriend that's American and blue-eyed, blonde-haired.
There's a lot of albums.
There's a lot that connects to
a lot of albums.
The Taylor Swift machine.
And
if you're corporate-wise, she's on the train that when she goes out, everyone, like Drake said, get out the fucking way because I'm about to take over the next, you know what I'm saying? I got to take over the next month and a half.
So we're in for another.
It's Taylor season.
Just,
that's why I dropped when I dropped. You think I didn't plan for this?
It's the summer.
You think I dropped in March because it was the best time for me?
Get all these white girls and women out
because
here.
It was.
Like,
it was the best time for me to drop because I understood the big dogs is coming. I got to get out the way.
More power to you, Taylor.
I'm a tugboat in this game.
I ain't gonna drop too much hate on it. Maybe a little.
Here's the question. Though. Here's the question.
To see 2 million in the first week, though, just because.
Why are you sick? Let's get through the bottom of that. Why?
Because what you just said. You said everything I'm saying, just nicer. Like that whole Taylor machine shit is almost sickening.
Like, oh, you don't like the NFL now?
It's almost sickening. What about the NFL?
You think the NFL's not going to capitalize on Taylor Swift more than they did last year after they seen the numbers go up?
I've stated my position about how I felt about the whole Taylor shit last year, or injecting herself into the NFL season. To now then have to watch her album go 2 million units in 1 week. It's a lot.
What's wrong with
album,
that, right? What's wrong with that? What's wrong with Amazon?
It's a lot because they're about to shove it in your face all summer again. And I just told everyone the last time how I was tired of Taylor, and now I got to gear up for this for the next few months.
You're not going to be tired.
Oh, I'm tired.
Because you're going to
happen. I'm tired. I'm pre-tired from the last tire.
But what's the thing is,
because all I've seen all over the timelines, and then I got people, oh my, but the album's really, really good. And
she serves a purpose though, because now you have a villain. It's the best thing to have, man. You have something to go against in this.
Who?
Right? Taylor. You can go against the Taylor machine.
Yeah, and then I look like the fucking crazy person because everybody else is on board.
But you're not alone, man. Right here with you. We are Dreamers United. Merch is available for sale. Go ahead and follow me.
So you hate Taylor too, is what you're saying?
No, I'm just saying you're not alone. I didn't say I would.
Then you're not with me.
I'm just saying you're not alone.
Then you're not with me.
I can provide you moral support while you hate. You know what I'm saying?
All right, man. Sorry, Taylor. I just had to throw that out there.
No,
I just saw that shit yesterday. I'm like, 2 million units is fucking nuts. Like,
what? I mean, I like it. I think that is.
We
good.
ain't even gonna get a hip hop artist close to sniffing 2 million units in.
But
Drake ain't even gonna sniff 2 million units in 1 week.
It's okay though. It's okay. Hip hop is not supposed to be, I guess, so to speak. We don't want hip hop to be pop. That's pop music.
Hip hop is pop. Drake is a pop artist. We already had this is the conversation off mic that we have. Drake is a pop artist.
But is Drake a hip hop artist or is he a hip pop artist?
He's a hip hop artist.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Won't even get close.
We can't even categorize Drake in the same category as a hip hop artist then. He's a hip hop artist.
He's a hip hop. His roots are hip hop.
His roots, but it's because, like I said, you can grow from being what you were once.
Right,
you know.
but you still are in the box of you're a hip hop artist. You just transcended.
That nigga sings more than he raps, man.
Yeah, but hip hop, singing, rapping. Future sings. He's a hip hop artist. Chris Brown sings and rap.
I disagree.
It's like hip hop in
disagree.
itself. It's like there's hybrid artists, which is just what Drake is, but he still falls under hip hop culture. If we just keeping it like as what the masses, you might agree differently, disagree, but like the masses would consider Drake a hip hop artist.
I guess
I wouldn't consider him a actual hip hop artist per the textbook definition of what one is, but hip hop, the culture is so like, again, it's genreless a little bit now. So he's still hip hop. But my point is he's not even gonna get close to sniffing 2 million. And as many people know Drake, love Drake, like buy his music, stream his music, he ain't moving 2 million in a week. He himself said Taylor's the only person that can make me get out the way. So to me, for that big of a artist to be the shadow over a whole genre and multiple genres, just because, like, how the fuck do you get to that point?
Well, we're looking at socioeconomic situations though too. Is because the music that he makes is specific to it, the subset of the culture. So if the subset
not necessarily because the music he makes speaks to the girls.
No, but
mainly.
I understand that, but he's still only speaking to a certain type of girls. He's not speaking to Taylor Swift's girls. You understand what I'm saying? Like he's not speaking to
the Swifties.
He's not speaking to them.
There's some Swifties that fuck with Drake.
I'm not saying there's not overlap, but the majority of them aren't going, oh, Drake, I make sure I listen to him, then I listen to my Taylor Swift. No. There's a whole different side.
I get what you're saying. It's a white versus black thing. If you just want to keep it funky,
to a degree, but I think it's deeper than that. I think it's socioeconomical too. I think it's not just black white. It's where you've come from, it's almost cultural in a sense because we all understand
culture being what culture versus what culture. You falling right back in the water where I'm leading you.
I'm trying to.
It is
a
white versus black thing.
I'm
like if we just looking at the numbers, the white people is going to go out and support Taylor in droves.
There's some
the white people is not going to go out and support Drake in droves because he's half black and he makes music that white people are going to like look at like, oh, that's the side music and I relate more to Taylor's music, so I'm going to fuck with her.
There's some black people that aren't.
They want their hip hop on the side. Some white people,
the
they want their hip hop on the side. So this is the point that I'm making, that Drake would never move as many units as Taylor would because it's a little white versus black
but
thing.
maybe Beyonce will.
No, she won't either because again, it's a white versus black thing. Cowboy Carter didn't even get close to fucking 2 million units in the first week.
It did good though.
It did good because it's Beyonce. But again,
wait. So you're just saying that I'm just saying if the right kind of music came out with the right. I'm not putting any limitations on these artists. That's all I'm trying to say. Is that let's say room for the potential. Mm-hmm. Even if the probability is low, we'll say a 2% chance. But if the probability being low as it is, I think that there's an artist that could get to that level.
That's black?
That is African American descent in some form or fashion.
So black.
Yeah.
Name one.
Like I said, Beyonce. I said if the right
didn't get close.
I'm not saying this last one because it's a country album, which is very niche. It's not a pop album. I think
that opened her up to more consumers, and she didn't get close.
I don't know. I think it isolated her base. I think it isolated like you. You said this is not your album. You don't want to
listen to it.
You don't. I know.
I'm not going to go listen to Taylor Swift's album, but I will listen to a Beyonce album because she looked like me, and I understood what her mission was behind that album. So again, I went to give it a listen.
Exactly.
Twice. After that, I just said, all right, I'm tapping out.
Exactly.
I hear the ones that come on the radio.
Is that she isolated her core fan base and tried to get them on a train to support a country endeavor, which is a testament to her greatness and her ability to pivot. But when I'm looking at the entire breakdown of Taylor Swift, she has never left Taylor Swift land. She may have tried 1 or 2 songs, maybe add Kendrick on a track, but that's about it. She hasn't broken from her regimented style of music.
Of course.
And I think that is a testament to her brand and her approach, is that she's looking at being the best Taylor Swift ever and doesn't care about any other. And mind you, she is in the best position being, you know what I'm saying, you know, a white woman in America. Like, that's not to say that there's not their own challenges, but I'm just saying, in this game, she's in the best position she could possibly be in.
That's all I'm saying, bro.
And I'm
saying the same things. I think
I'm not glazing over that or glazing Taylor even. I'm just saying that I like to leave a 2% chance that in the future, with the right music, that we can make it into a world where, yes, 2 million units can be sold by someone of African American descent. I'm just not.
We're a long way off from that world.
It may not be a full African American descent. It may be somebody with 20% Asian, 20% Puerto Rican, 20%.
I mean,
you know what I mean. Then we get to a little bit 50% black. I don't know where they're gonna land, but the same thing I'm trying to say is,
I
do
get what
believe
you're
we can
saying,
get there.
but we are a long way off from that world.
Who knows? Maybe Bruno Mars come out with another fire album.
Bruno Mars, not even this. Again, it's a like you said, the machine with Taylor. I think it is literally, we're gonna push this shit to, and whoever selected Taylor to be this person, I don't know. I ain't in them rooms and I ain't had them conversations, but it is a literal machine to make sure that Taylor Swift is the biggest fucking thing in the world.
And she's great at what she does, man.
There are a few artists that I feel like if you put the right machine behind them, they can have that kind of same appeal. Why is Taylor? I don't fucking know. Like, I don't know. But again, we going back to what I said earlier about if I get just too much of the same thing over and over and over and over again, I'm going to check out, you know. So it is a little unfair to Taylor as a person, maybe, but I'm just literally tired of just, I wish Taylor would do a little Kendrick Lamar, just like drop one album and just fucking disappear. Like,
I think she will. I think this might be one of the we're coming up on the precipice of one of the last few ones.
She ain't going nowhere.
Because what's gonna happen is
she's gonna do another tour and another movie off of the tour. And
how old is Taylor Swift right now?
30s.
How old is Taylor Swift?
30s, I would assume.
34 years old.
Yeah.
Taylor Swift's 34 years old. Yes. So this is the moment where
mid-30s.
She's gonna have to make a choice, right? Musically, life. She needs to get this album out. She needs to push out the things that she needs to push out. And she needs to go sit down because she has to have her kids if she wants them.
Oh, that's different.
She has to have.
Be careful when you throwing that shit out.
No. If she wants them,
toxic misogyny, they're gonna throw that out.
I don't believe that.
We know she want kids.
I'm saying, that's what I say. If she wants them, that's why I'm looking at the whole thing as like, if this is
you can technically have kids up to 40 now.
No, I know that,
shit,
but
so.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you're looking at it, but you still got to make sure that you and the person that you're gonna make or have kids with is the right person. If that time together, that relationship together, where you raise your kids, all of those are really deep conversations. It's not even about the physical side of it. It's about where you want to live, where you want to raise your kids, what do you want to do, what schools will they go to, all these like other layers.
That would be also assuming that her and Travis is going to last past these 6 months that we both gave them.
You already know I'm on board with them living past that.
But 6 months ain't going to be enough to have a fucking child either.
But that's what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm trying to say. I think it's going to go past it. I don't know where it's going to end up.
You said it was going to eventually end. You on record saying that.
What I'm saying.
So
I don't know when it's going to end. I do believe it's going to eventually end. That's just any relationship.
And then she back out here in your face again even more.
But again,
she ain't left being in our faces since.
What I believe, like relationships, this is one of her longest ones. I do believe relationships.
Is it though? Like I don't know. I don't know Taylor's track record of relationships and how long they last.
This is one of her longest ones.
And that ain't saying much to me either, is the next thing.
No, what I'm saying is what happens in relationships is you grow from them. And I think if this relationship is one of those longer ones.
How long?
I don't know.
It's not even a year yet.
I don't know
for you
her
to
numbers.
even say this is one of her longest relationships?
Yeah, it is. I'm going to pull it up for you since you're going to get me on.
Is this on the timelines? Is this what they're saying out there? I don't know her relationship dating timelines. I know they ain't been together for more than a year. And for this to be one of her longest relationships, if you really staking your claim that, like, hey, this is great for Taylor, what the fuck? Like, what kind of world do we live into where not even a year with a person is long enough for you to?
So they've been dating since September 2023. So
it's 2024.
Yeah.
Not a whole year. You don't even get to know a person like that for real in under a year.
It's a good time. It's a good amount of time. Especially in their
For you to be claiming
space.
This is her longest relationship.
I didn't say it's the longest. It's a longer one. I said longer. I didn't say longest.
So you said longest?
I thought it was one of her longer ones.
I don't know how long our other one's been, but if you don't make it to a year with a person, to me, you still at a fling.
September is right around the corner. It's not that bad.
You still at a fling. You got to make it through the summer to get to September.
Summer's going to be interesting.
It's a fling. It's still a fling.
But my whole point of that, saying that is 34 years old, you start looking at life a little differently. You start wondering who you want to be, who you want to have around you, who you want to make the rest of your life with. And I think that's what I think she's going to be forced with. And I think she's going to take a break, at least from the music, just because of that. That's my trying.
I hope so, for all our sakes. Because now I just sound like I'm bashing Taylor again. And I am a little bit, but I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck.
But I don't think you're in her demographic either. So you might just feel left out from that too.
I'm not, and that's why it bothers me so much that I see it on a consistent basis. So I have to see and read and hear these things. It's just not my demographic. I hate being pushed things that don't connect with me. So that's really what.
There's a whole group of people for you though. There's the whole group of people that hate Taylor. So don't worry. You're fine. You're fine.
No doubt. And I know who they are. And they hit me. They hit me. Like, yeah, I feel you, bro. So we're gonna keep our thing private. The private hate group for Taylor. That's that.
It ain't that private when you post this online.
I mean, it's out there already. The DMs is not.
Best of luck to you,
DMs
Taylor.
are not. The DMs are not.
Congratulations on your new album, and I hope that you find love and happiness. That's all I can say.
Word, all that shit, Taylor.
And go relax somewhere.
All right, moving forward, man, we're going to keep this thing organic. And I kind of want to keep introduce something that I want to go back to on a consistent basis, man. I think every episode with all the entertainment and shit and everything we dive into, I do think that we should open up conversations for something more meaningful, outside of just the fun, the jokes, the games, and just watching the shit shows and all that shit that we get into.
Yeah.
All that's cool. But, I do like to open up conversations for things that rely more so on the heart side of things. And that's, I think, where we at off of our last post, not last post, 2 episodes ago where I spoke about the entitlement thing, like that was the real talk segment we had there.
Yes.
So I think we should do a real talk every episode. And today I'm going to dive into something that ranged really, really true to the core of my being at this point as a trainer. And that is just general wellness and movement, Seen a post. I'm going to save you guys the overall details on it, but it was just a guy who's a fire department worker in New York, and he was really speaking about how we don't move here as Americans. There was a school in China, and it was crazy to see, that the kids were doing all kind of athletic shit, like climbing ropes and having all kind of intricate jumping patterns with ropes and all that stuff, really working through coordination and just being able to move their bodies effectively and efficiently, And the guy was saying how he wishes we have more of that here in the States, and our schools would implement programs and structured time for our kids to be able to build that level of strength, athleticism, endurance, and all the other shit, just like basic level shit. And kids is like energy balls, so being able to get that out as well. Just saying that people are meant to move and how we don't do enough of it here in the States. It connected with me because it does start on the youth level, because I believe nowadays a lot of our kids is just very, very tied into devices and not being able to really explore that level of just activity. Nowadays you barely even see kids playing on the block. My new spot that I moved to, like the thing that I love to see most about that, and having my daughter over there now, is the kids over there, they play on the block all the time.
Right.
So my daughter asked me one day, just looking out the window and shit, like, yo, like, Dad, can I go play with those kids? Don't know these kids from a can of paint. And to me, that moment was like, oh shit, this is dope. Like, this is a real moment as a father, as somebody who has a little bit more of an old school mentality, as someone who could see something that I want for my child to play out in
Yeah.
front of my face. It was like that kind of moment.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, cool. Let me walk you outside and we'll go introduce ourselves to him. So we went outside, and then this is the first moment as a dad, I was just like, oh, she's trying to play me now. Because she's just like, Dad, go, like, you know, let me rock. I'm like, damn, you 7? You pushing me off already to go play with your little new friends and shit? But in that, I'm like, oh, this is cool, you know, seeing how it happens in front of your face. And
Right.
then she was still nervous to go talk to the kids and all that shit. And then went over there, was like inching closer, and then looked back at me a little bit and inching closer again. I'm like, all right, you scared to go introduce yourself. All right, come on, let's go. Took her hand, walked over there to the other kids, introduced herself to like 3, 4 of them at that point. So she's just like, Dad, can I just go play? I'm like, you want me to stay outside and watch you? You want me to? She's like, no, like, you can go back inside. I'm just like, all right. And the neighborhood is safe enough for me. We live on the cul-de-sac, so nobody's driving down there all crazy and stuff. So all the parents trust the kids to just be out there running around, riding their bikes, playing tag, playing hide and seek and all that shit. And I just really took that time to, one, get over my fear of just letting her go.
Right.
And then seeing her play was just like, this is where, you know, this is where it's at for the youth, you know.
Yeah.
Not tied to a phone, not tied to the iPad, not
Some of
tied
my
to
best
just a
childhood
bunch
memories,
of
man.
right, you know.
I'm playing freeze tag or manhunt.
Going to
was
hoop,
crazy.
like the person with the crate outside, the basketball court, like all that shit is what I feel like a lot of our kids are missing nowadays. And it just leads to like a lifestyle of just the expectation of being sedentary, unhealthy living.
Do you believe that's the responsibility of schools, though, or should it be on the responsibility of parents?
I believe it's the responsibility of the community.
So
Like,
both.
they say it takes a village to raise a child.
Yeah.
So I do think that the village also ties into where your child is educated, you know, because your child's school isn't going to be but too far away from your crib. You know, it should be technically, quote unquote, in the village in most situations. Like, not saying perfect world, like everybody's school isn't you know. So I do get that, but I do believe schools play an important role in that. And outside of schools, again, parents too, just making sure that your child has activities, is not just tied up to the iPad all day and on the video game. And I've done a lot of both in my life. I've been a video game kid where I spend 3-4 hours just on the fucking Dreamcast or Sega Dreamcast. Remember that shit back in the day? Or even before
Power
that, like
Stone on the Dreamcast.
right,
was
Sega
crazy.
Genesis back before that, Nintendo. Like I've been on those games for hours. I'm a gamer. I was a gamer for a lot of my life.
LAN
you know, not as
parties
much
was
now.
crazy.
Right,
You
but
used
I'd
to
also
plug
do
up
right,
TVs.
exactly. You know,
Fire,
but I also remember going outside and playing too. And I think that
it was both.
having both of those things be a big focal point in life sets you up for different expectations going forward. You know, the way everybody ain't just like not used to moving, not used to working out, not being, you know. And this is like standing on my soapbox, I guess, because as a person in the fitness industry now, and a person who trains as an athlete, trains athletes, has been an athlete long term, I just think that we're missing a lot of that in society right now.
I'm willing to do something with you, man. I'm trying to be a change agent, man. I want to speak truth to power and go out and do something. We should do something, man. Do a live EFS pod, or do a community play day for the kids or something like that.
I mean, it's things.
Get some. I'll give out some shirts. I'll do a little performance. I'll bring the speakers out, DJ it. Whatever we got to do to give back to the community, I am all for. Even if it's back to school, book bag giveaway.
It's things in
like
mind.
we could do something and have a little moon bounce, have a little fun time.
We'll talk. We'll put it together off mic, you know,
yeah, but
and present something real. But
I love the idea of us bringing these kids together for one. That's the main thing. That's what I'm all about. That. I'm not always on the biggest mover my damn self, so I can just get my ass up and get out there.
It's important, man.
But two,
it's important.
Or three rather. Three is the third one because I think so. Three, I just think that by giving them the opportunity to do something in a positive, constructive way, it keeps them from the toxic. I'm always big on that. Keeping the toxic energy out. It brings them more positivity. I'm not working with the Be Positive Foundation for no reason, right? So it's like that is the most positive thing you can do. If you're going out playing, having a good time, that releases oxytocin, it improves mental health. Yeah. There's so many benefits that come with it. So I am in complete agreement with that. And I'm just like, let's go. If we want to, you know what I mean, we figure out what the cost is, we'll get something going together and we just make this thing happen, because what you're talking about may happen in your small community, but there's so many kids that don't have kids in their neighborhood, right?
Right.
Because there's
That's
people
what
that
I'm
not
saying.
having kids, so
Yeah.
you be the single
It's
child
rare.
on a block, and you ain't got
It's
nobody
rare.
to go play with. So
Until
it's like,
I moved into the new spot, is the first time I seen a group of kids in that like way playing outside, like 5, 6, 7 of them. Then you looking down the street, the other one coming down riding a bike, and then it's like, oh, like this shit is.
but they
This
need
is at
that,
the core
right?
of what childhood should be. Like
But
all
it's
this
not available to
tablets and
every
all
child
these.
or every neighborhood.
No, you're right.
So we have to
So,
figure out
you know,
a way to get that. And then sometimes the neighborhood aren't safe, so they can't go out into the community and play because you don't know who's going or what's going to happen. Somebody might be a stray bullet. One girl just got killed down DSU, 18 years old.
it happens,
So
man.
I mean, I look at it and I say, yes, it's a bigger problem than just providing opportunity. We also have to look at how we want to make it and structure it and make it safe and make it, sustainable. But
Of
I'm
course.
so down for like a community
All
day.
5 though. All 5
Yeah,
would
yeah,
definitely,
yeah.
start lining up some ideas. But because I've been had ambitions and done things like that, basketball related, of course, because that's really
That's your
reigns.
wheelhouse, yeah.
Right? That's been easy. Done clinics for kids and all that stuff
Yep.
before. So I'm a big supporter of putting together any kind of situation like that. And I know some people too that work in that arena. So something we can definitely tap into. But real talk for today is that just in general, being able to get out there and move, and I guess it goes into the quote of the day, which is
You write the other quote too?
yeah, the quote. There's another deep Burkism, man. I think I'm
Burke.
gonna start leaning away from just the general quotes because to me, my perspectives are also something I want to put out there on this platform.
Come
so
on now.
today we can go with another deep Burkism, which is just in general understanding that you only die once, so make sure you live every day.
Okay. You only die once, so make sure you live every day.
You only die once, so make sure you live every day. And it ain't mine originally, nothing that I've like made up in my own head. I
Yeah.
saw it a long time ago. It was floating around on the timeline. I'm just like, okay, like this is meaningful, Like we all headed towards the same path at some point, which is, eventually leaving this space,
Right.
this realm for whatever you believe in. Those of you with different viewpoints but the way to make sure you make the most out of it is just by living to your truest form of you, your truest form of your passion, your purpose every single day. And for kids, sometimes it's just playing their asses off every single day while they live. That's living life to them. But the older you get, understanding that you only die once, so make sure you live every day to the fullest of whatever life is for you. And then, we ride this thing out for as long as we can. So
yeah, that's beautiful.
That's the one for today.
That's beautiful. All right.
So that said, man, EFS Podcast, episode 11, podcast for self-starters and those willing to make the most out of every situation is out of here. We will holler at you on the next one.
Thank
Peace.
you, y'all.